You won't believe the scale of what's unfolding right now. In cities and remote towns alike, Australians are waking up to a new reality, one that's both shocking and deeply unsettling. The nation stands at a crossroads, facing harsh realities and uncertain promises. Every decision now carries more weight than ever before, as the future feels more unpredictable with each passing day. Across the continent, a dramatic story unfolds, written in dust, heat, and steel. The land itself seems to be sending a message, as if urging us to pay attention to the signs all around. Climate extremes and shifting geopolitics are colliding, redefining what it means to be Australian in 2025. From devastating floods to relentless droughts, the environment is testing the limits of our endurance and unity. Farmers watch their lands turn barren, while deadly heatwaves claim more lives than ever before. Rural communities are struggling to adapt, and families are being forced to make impossible choices about their futures. The government issues dire warnings: more extreme heat, rising seas, and a future that demands urgent preparation. Emergency alerts have become a part of daily life, and leaders are under pressure to act swiftly. Meanwhile, advanced American military aircraft arrive, signaling a profound shift in our global role. Australia is no longer just a bystander. We are now at the center of international attention and strategic alliances. These crises are deeply connected, touching every corner of the nation and forcing us to confront difficult truths. No one is untouched, and every community feels the impact in its own way. The sunburnt country, long defined by resilience, is being reshaped before our eyes. Our identity, our way of life, and our hopes for the future are all being tested. The question is no longer what might happen, but how we will navigate the reality that has already arrived. The choices we make now will echo for generations to come. The land is thirsty. Southern Australia faces a historic drought, over 2 relentless years with record low rainfall. Once green landscapes have faded to dusty brown, rivers reduced to stagnant pools, and reservoirs sit alarmingly low. Recent rains barely moistened the surface, doing little to replenish deep reserves. This drought has exhausted the ecosystem's resilience. Native plants and animals struggle to survive. Habitats shrink, wildlife populations plummet, and the very character of the land is being altered, perhaps permanently. For those who live here, every sunrise reveals empty dams and withered pastures, a constant reminder of crisis. Dust invades homes and lungs, a gritty symbol of environmental collapse. Experts warn full recovery could take 5 or 6 years if it comes at all. For Australia's farmers, this drought is a personal and financial tragedy. Generations of families are forced to make impossible choices as feed costs spiral out of control. Widespread drought and disasters have created a severe shortage of fodder, pushing farmers to the brink. Many must send healthy, productive animals to slaughter, an agonizing decision that feels like defeat. Rural communities are hollowing out. Farms close, families leave, and local businesses shutter. Schools lose students, and the social fabric frays. The mental health toll is immense, as farmers face overwhelming stress and grief. The drought threatens not just livestock and crops, but an entire way of life. It raises profound questions about the future of agriculture in a hotter, drier Australia. As drought grips the land, another danger stalks the population: extreme heat waves. Heat waves now cause more fatalities than any other natural hazard in Australia. Between 2016 and 2019, over 1,000 people died from heat waves, part of a rising toll. A heat wave is more than a few hot days. It's prolonged, oppressive heat that strains the human body. The 2018-19 summer saw record-breaking temperatures, with Adelaide hitting 46.6 degrees Celsius. Heat exhaustion, heat stroke, and worsened medical conditions are common, often leading to death. Unlike bushfires or floods, heatwave victims often die unseen, their deaths counted only in statistics. The Australian summer is changing, becoming a season of risk and retreat. The rising death toll is a wake-up call. We are underprepared for the new normal. Australia's heat waves don't strike equally. They hit the most vulnerable hardest. The elderly, young, disabled, and poor are most at risk, often lacking resources for protection. Many live in poorly insulated homes without air conditioning, unable to afford cooling costs. Regional disparities are stark. Queensland and New South Wales have triple the heatwave mortality rates of Western Australia. Urban heat islands and poor housing amplify the danger for low-income communities. For the vulnerable, a heatwave is a period of intense physical and mental stress. The crisis exposes deep social inequalities, turning discomfort into disaster. Protecting these populations requires better housing, public cooling centers, and community outreach. Without urgent action, the tragic death toll will only rise. In September 2025, the Australian government released its largest ever climate risk assessment, and the findings are alarming. Australia has already warmed by 1.5 degrees Celsius since 1910, fueling today's extreme weather. The report warns, under a 3 degrees Celsius warming scenario, severe heatwave days could quadruple by century's end. Imagine nearly 3 weeks each year of life-threatening heat, overwhelming health and emergency services. Rising sea levels threaten 1.5 million Australians, with coastal flooding by 2050. Iconic beaches and low-lying suburbs could be lost, and some communities may become unviable. This official warning moves climate change to the center of national risk management. The government acknowledges the urgent need for adaptation and resilience. We must prepare for a future fundamentally different from our past. The time for action is now. As Australia faces a severe climate crisis, its global strategy is also shifting to adapt to new realities and challenges. The government has recently approved the storage of US Marine Corps MV-22 Osprey aircraft on Australian soil, a permanent new arrangement that signifies a deeper military collaboration. The Osprey's unique capabilities, including its ability to take off and land vertically, make it a powerful asset for rapid deployment and joint training exercises. This move deepens the US-Australia Force Posture Agreement, increasing joint military activities and enhancing operational readiness. However, the Osprey's safety record is controversial, following a fatal 2023 crash and ongoing operational restrictions that have raised concerns. Basing these aircraft here raises important questions about safety, responsibility, and the long-term implications for both nations. The decision is part of a broader US military buildup in the Indo-Pacific, responding to rising geopolitical tensions and the need for a strategic presence. For Australia, it cements the American alliance and places us on the front line of regional competition, highlighting our strategic importance. This strategic shift comes as our nation is tested by an unforgiving climate, making it crucial to balance environmental and security priorities. Drought, deadly heat waves, and a deepening military alliance are reshaping Australia. These forces are not just shaping our environment, they are influencing the very fabric of our society, our economy, and our sense of security. These are not isolated issues. They are interconnected forces redefining our identity and place in the world. As the land dries and temperatures soar, the need for a strong defense grows, linking climate and security in ways we've never seen before. The nation faces dual pressures, climate adaptation, and a more assertive defense posture. We must learn to adapt to a harsher climate while also preparing for new geopolitical realities in our region. Rebuilding infrastructure, supporting agriculture, and strengthening healthcare all require massive investment. Rural communities, already stretched thin, are on the front lines of both environmental and strategic change. At the same time, military commitments demand resources and political focus. Our leaders must balance urgent domestic needs with the demands of international alliances and defense strategies. Australia is pulled in two directions by existential threats, climate and geopolitics. The choices we make now will determine how we weather the storms ahead, both literal and figurative. The presence of ospreys in Darwin while farmers struggle in the south highlights our competing priorities. It's a stark reminder that our future depends on how we manage both our land and our alliances. Our greatest threat may be the collapse of our own ecosystems, making us more vulnerable to external pressures. If we fail to protect our environment, we risk undermining our own resilience and security. The drought, the heat, and the ospreys are all part of the same story. a changing, more resilient Australia. Our response to these challenges will define who we are for generations to come. As the dust settles and the heat lingers, Australians face a profoundly uncertain future. Today's events are not a blip, they are the start of a new chapter. The drought, deadly heat, dire climate warnings, and foreign military presence all point to a more volatile future. The challenge is survival and adaptation. Can farmers endure, and can cities protect the vulnerable? These are urgent questions demanding immediate action. The government's climate report makes clear, inaction is not an option. At the same time, our strategic choices, like housing American Ospreys, have far-reaching implications. The real question, what kind of country do we want to be? The choices we make now will define us for generations. Australia stands at a moment of profound transformation. Our future is in our hands.